Qatar has released 8 Indian ex-naval officers after dropping their death sentences. The men were charged with spying for Israel and were arrested by Qatari authorities in August 2022. They were all initially handed death sentences, which were dropped in December last year. India says 7 of the 8 former sailors have returned to the country. Almost 100 Palestinians were killed as Israel carried out airstrikes on Rafah city in southern Gaza. The strikes hit refugee camps near the Kuwait hospital. Israel has also announced a ground offensive in Rafah. On Sunday, the Israeli military urged Palestinians to flee further south of the Rafah border towards Egypt. Israel says 2 hostages were rescued by their special forces during a raid in Rafah city. Both hostages were rushed to a hospital following the operation. Medical officials say the freed civilians are in good health. Israel says at least 130 hostages are still being held by Hamas. Israel conducted its deepest ever airstrike into its northern neighbor Lebanon's territory yesterday. Drones were used to bomb the city of Jadra, which is 60 kilometers north of Israel. At least 2 civilians were killed in the strike. Israel claims the targets were senior Hamas officials. Iran issued a stern warning to Israel following the airstrikes in Lebanon. The Iranian foreign minister said, and I quote, "Any escalation in Lebanon will be Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's last day." He further added that Iran will stand firmly with Lebanon and Hezbollah. Meanwhile, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi said he will lead the proposal to expel Israel from the United Nations. Ukraine has claimed that Russian soldiers are using Elon Musk's Starlink internet services. Kyiv's military intelligence claims that the Starlink terminals are being used by Russians in the Donetsk region. Starlink terminals are geo-fenced. This means they won't function in unauthorized areas. However, the Starlink terminals fell into the hands of Russians after they drove Ukrainian troops out of Donetsk. European leaders have criticized former US President Donald Trump for his remarks on Russia. While addressing a Republican rally, Trump said that he would support Putin's attack on NATO members that don't pay their bills. NATO members have criticized Trump for trying to create a rift between the US and its European allies. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has been hospitalized again. Pentagon officials say the 70-year-old is being treated for bladder issues. Meanwhile, Austin has transferred his office duties to his deputy. This is the Defense Secretary's second hospitalization after receiving cancer treatment in January. At least 1 person was killed and 5 others were injured after a plane crashed on a beach in Mexico. The small plane belonged to a skydiving firm and had to make an emergency landing. However, during the landing, the pilot lost control and the aircraft went into a nearby building. The cause of the accident is being investigated. At least 14 people were injured after a tree fell onto a roller coaster in Spain. 2 people have received severe wounds and are being treated in the intensive care unit. Amusement park officials say that strong winds caused the tree to fall onto the roller coaster. Spanish authorities have launched an investigation into the incident and closed down the amusement park. Alexander Stubb has won the closely fought presidential election in Finland. Stubbs and his centre-right National Coalition Party have secured over 51% of the votes. Stubb rose to popularity for his pro-European and pro-Ukraine stance. He will play a central role in defining Finland's NATO policies. Finland joined NATO in April 2023, almost a year after Russia invaded Ukraine. Almost 100,000 people staged a protest against far-right groups in the German city of Munich. Demonstrators put up banners and posters against right-wing extremism and anti-Semitism. This was the 5th week of nationwide protests in Germany against the rise of the far right. Meanwhile, protests erupted across multiple cities in Pakistan. Thousands of supporters of jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan took to the streets. They demonstrated against the delayed declaration of election results. Imran Khan's party has won the highest number of seats in the general election. However, they are short of securing a parliamentary majority. There was a clash between ships from the Philippines and China in the South China Sea. Manila has accused Beijing of conducting aggressive maneuvers near the disputed Scarborough Shoal region. The Philippines released footage of its ships being surrounded by 4 vessels of the Chinese Coast Guard. A diplomatic protest has been lodged with the Chinese embassy in Manila. The final stage of election campaigning ended in Indonesia this weekend. Thousands of supporters participated in rallies in solidarity with their candidates. Indonesia will vote for a new leader on the 14th of February. This will be the world's largest single-day election. Myanmar's junta has enforced mandatory military service for young people. All men aged between 18 to 35 and women aged between 18 to 27 will have to serve in the army for 2 years. Meanwhile, doctors aged up to 45 will have to serve for 3 years. This comes after Myanmar's army continues to face heavy losses on the battlefield against multiple rebel groups. Moving to climate news, the Caribbean nation of Trinidad and Tobago may soon declare a national emergency. This comes after a mystery vessel ran aground and overturned, which caused a massive oil spill. At least 15 kilometers of coastline has been affected, including some pristine beaches. Around 1,000 volunteers have been working with the government to clean up the spill. The death toll from a landslide in the southern Philippines has risen to 54. Meanwhile, the search for 63 missing people is still on. Authorities have moved more than 1,100 families to evacuation centers. The landslide took place near a gold mine in Mako town last Tuesday. This occurred after rains battered the region on and off for weeks. Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg took part in a protest in France on Sunday. This was against oil drilling around the seaside resort of Arcachon. 8 oil wells have been planned in the vicinity. The area already has around 50 oil wells, which produce 1,500 barrels of oil per day. In 2017, the French government had voted to stop domestic oil production by 2040. Climate protesters threw soup at a painting by French artist Claude Monet. The incident occurred at a museum in southeast France on Saturday. The painting was not damaged as it was protected by glass. The climate group called Riposte Alimentaire claimed responsibility for the attack. The same group pulled a similar stunt on the Mona Lisa last month. On to business and tech news. Israeli chipmaker Tower Semiconductor is planning to set up an $8 billion manufacturing facility in India. The company has reportedly submitted a proposal for the plant to the Indian government. The proposal has been submitted under New Delhi's Chip Manufacturing Incentive Scheme. The Indian government is offering 50% subsidy to chip makers to set up manufacturing units in the country. Steel giant Jindal Steelworks, or JSW, will set up an electric car manufacturing unit in India. The plant will be built at a cost of around $5 billion. For this, the company has signed an MOU with the Indian state of Odisha. Last year, JSW Group formed a joint venture with China's SAIC Motor to develop an EV ecosystem. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has sold around 12 million shares of the e-commerce firm. The sale took place on Wednesday and Thursday last week. It has garnered around $2 billion for the world's second richest man. Bezos reportedly plans to sell up to 50 million shares in Amazon. SAP, the German software giant, has said that it is parting ways with Puneet Renjen. Renjen, the former CEO of Lloyd, was nominated for SAP's chairman role a year ago. However, Renjen and SAP reportedly had a difference in perspective on the role, which he was due to assume in May this year. The company has now nominated former Nokia president Pekka Ala-Pietilä for the role. Airbus has reportedly warned its customers regarding order delays. The company is facing a supply shortage of aircraft engines and other components. It is postponing some deliveries scheduled for late 2024 and part of 2025 by several months. Industry experts predict that the airline component supply shortage could last for years. The US telecom giant Cisco is reportedly planning to lay off thousands of employees. Job cuts are part of the firm's restructuring plan. The company has still not decided on the number of employees it plans to let go. As of now, Cisco's total headcount stands at around 85,000. Tesla is offering up to a $1,000 discount on its Model Y cars in the US. The temporary price cut is available until February 29th. Discounts are being offered on Tesla's Model Y rear-wheel drive and Model Y long range. This comes as the company recently projected a slowdown in sales this year. A US judge has ordered Elon Musk to testify in a probe by the market regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC is investigating Musk's $44 billion Twitter takeover. The firm has now been rebranded as X. In September last year, Musk ignored summons by the US regulator regarding the case. A Waymo self-driving car was vandalized and set on fire by a crowd in San Francisco last week. The incident happened in the city's Chinatown district during Chinese New Year celebrations. An eyewitness said that people jumped onto the hood of the car and broke its windshield. It was later set on fire using fireworks. The Alphabet-owned firm said that there was no passenger in the car during the incident. Chipmaker NVIDIA is reportedly planning to set up a new custom chip design unit. This unit will focus on advanced artificial intelligence processors. NVIDIA's AI chips are being used by ChatGPT maker OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, and Meta. The demand for these chips has shot up in recent months. NVIDIA currently controls about 80% of the market for high-end AI chips. Moving to sport. In cricket, India suffered a heartbreaking 79-run loss to Australia in the Under-19 World Cup final. Australia opted to bat first and posted 253 for 7. Oliver Peake's knock of 43 and Harjas Singh's 55 guided the Aussies to a defendable total. India failed to chase down the target of 254 and were bowled out for 174. This is Australia's fourth Under-19 World Cup title. Sri Lanka beat Afghanistan by 155 runs in the second ODI of the three-match series. Afghanistan had a staggering target of 308 and were bundled out for 153 in 34 overs. Sri Lankan leg spinner Wanindu Hasaranga scalped 4 wickets. With the win, Sri Lanka have sealed the three-match ODI series 2-0. England's Jack Leach was ruled out of the squad against India's Test tour. The left-arm spinner sustained a knee injury during the series opener in Hyderabad, and he still has not recovered from the mishap. England have confirmed that they will not be calling up a replacement for Leach. In football, Argentina have denied Brazil a chance to defend their Olympic men's title in Paris. Brazil lost to their arch-rivals 1-0 yesterday in the decisive South American qualifier. Luciano Gondu scored the winner for Argentina in the 78th minute. The South American qualifier offers 2 spots in Paris 2024. Along with Argentina, the second team to qualify is Paraguay. Hosts Ivory Coast captured a fairy tale win over Nigeria to clinch this year's Africa Cup of Nations title. Nigerian captain William Troost Ekong opened the scoring charts, but Frank Kessie's equalizer leveled the score in the second half. Sebastian Haller scored the winning goal for the hosts. Ivory Coast have now won AFCON 3 times, including in 1992, 2015, and now this year. In American football, or the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs rallied to beat the San Francisco 49ers in the 58th edition of the Super Bowl. It was a 25-22 nail-biter in overtime. Patrick Mahomes stole the show with 2 touchdowns. He was also crowned the most valuable player, or MVP, of the night. Kansas City Chiefs have now won back-to-back Super Bowl titles. In tennis, India's Sumit Nagal is set to break into the top 100 of the ATP World Rankings for the first time in his career. He defeated Italy's Luca Nardi 6-1-6-4 in the Chennai Open. This was his 5th title on the ATP Challenger Tour. Nagal jumped 23 spots to achieve his new career high ranking of 98. Before Nagal, the last Indian to enter the top 100 was Prajnesh Guneswaran in 2019. Kazakhstan's Elena Rybakina stormed past Russia's Daria Kasatkina in the final of the Abu Dhabi Open. Rybakina defeated her opponent 6-1-6-4 to lift her 2nd trophy of the season. The world number 5 will now head to Doha for the opening WTA 100 tournament of the season at the Qatar Open. World men's marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum died in a road accident yesterday. He was killed in a car along with his coach on a road in Kenya. Police say that the vehicle Kiptum was driving lost control and rolled over, killing them on the spot. Kiptum is a world record setter for the fastest marathon with a time of 2 hours and 35 seconds. In swimming, China will be hosting the 2029 World Aquatics Champions in the capital Beijing. The event includes diving, water polo, artistic swimming, among other sports. Global governing body World Aquatics announced that China won the bidding process for the multi-sport event. In entertainment news, the 2024 Super Bowl match looked like a star-studded affair with several celebrities in attendance. Singer Taylor Swift traveled from Japan to cheer for her partner and Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce. Swift entered the stadium with actor Blake Lively and rapper Ice Spice. Celebrities including Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Jared Leto, and Jimmy Kimmel attended to cheer for their favorite teams. Rapper Jay-Z attended the game alongside his daughters Blue Ivy and Rumi. Before the Super Bowl match began, singer Reba McEntire kick-started the festivities by singing the U.S. national anthem. Rapper Post Malone sang the song America the Beautiful before the teams took to the fields. The most anticipated halftime show was headlined by Usher, who delivered a power-packed performance. He was joined by artists such as Alicia Keys, Lil Jon, Her, will.i.am, and Jermaine Dupri and Ludacris. Meanwhile, artist Usher has secured a marriage license with his girlfriend Jennifer Goycochea. According to reports, the license was obtained in the U.S. state of Nevada. The couple were linked together for the first time in 2019 after they were spotted attending a birthday party together. Beyoncé announced that part 2 of her 2022 album Renaissance will release on the 29th of March. She released a teaser video on her Instagram handle, which revealed the album's title and release date. Beyoncé also released 2 songs from the album, titled Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, on the streaming platform Tidal. American singer-songwriter and pianist Billy Joel is ready to take his work to a broadcast network for the first time. His concert, The 100th, will air on broadcast network CBS. The concert will be shot on the 28th of March, which will mark Joel's 100th performance at New York City's Madison Square Garden. The performance will air on the 14th of April. The 76th Annual Directors Guild of America Awards were held in California. Here are the highlights from the prestigious awards ceremony. Christopher Nolan received the award for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in the Theatrical Feature Film for Oppenheimer, while Peter Ho won the award for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Dramatic Series for The Last of Us episode Long, Long Time. The trailer for the upcoming film Wicked was released yesterday. The two-part musical epic features Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo in lead roles. The story follows the adventures of two witches called Elphaba and Glinda. The film is based on a 1995 novel titled Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. Wicked will hit theaters on the 27th of November this year. One of the most anticipated films of Marvel Studios in 2024 is Deadpool and Wolverine. The studio added to the growing buzz by releasing the first trailer of the upcoming film. However, the video only showed a glimpse of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine character. Deadpool and Wolverine will release on the 26th of July. According to reports, film director Michael Chavez is in talks to direct the fourth installment of the Conjuring franchise. This will be the fourth and final film of the franchise. The director had previously helmed The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which released in 2021. The shoot for Conjuring 4 will take place in the city of Atlanta in the state of Georgia in the US. The annual Carnival Extravaganza has kick-started in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro. Thousands of people soaked in the Carnival spirit with elaborate costumes and makeup. Locals put up a dazzling display with a variety of floats and performances. Authorities report that approximately 49 million people have registered to participate in the festivities. The Rio Carnival is hailed as the biggest carnival in the world.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.